This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News-free Dixie for the 21st century.
You're self-made. Why the hell, once you lost your free labor, okay, what? Now you want to apologize and shit and take some roses from a mulatto, so they said, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So now they trying to feel like he's a civil rights leader now.
Because even then, before the Civil War, there were white people, and I love them, the revolutionists. The revolutionists actually fought to free Africans for no monetary, for no economic reason. They were partnered up with Frederick Douglass, and they were partnered up with Harriet Tubman and all those, and they were white people. They just thought this shit just ain't right, and they were being murdered. They were being murdered just like we were for freeing slaves, and that was before the Civil War, which I thought was fought to free us because they liked us, but no.
I told people General Grant had slaves too.
This is true. And then you know, it was so many of us down there in Natchez, Mississippi that actually after the Civil War we were gassed, we were put in a concentration camp.
I heard about that. They don't talk about this.
So we can't do nothing without And you know what I love about myself the most? I got pregnant with my oldest son and I was 17 and I dropped out of school, and I don't have what they call an education.
You have a self-education. That's a real education.
Mexicans don't understand the significance of this statue. A lot of the white people don't understand it either. Meaning that at one point, I was one of the people, and I would say, what the fuck? Leave them alone. It's just monuments, statues. What's the big deal? Until I learned my history of when and why those monuments started. That when the civil rights, when people started kicking back for equal rights and civil rights, that this was just all the racist white people just kicked back to say, well, shit, we're going to show our power. We're going to build extremely large monuments to honor all the people that enslaved you guys, because the South will still rise. So this is a kickback against us kicking back for our freedoms and our equal rights. So when I realized that, I realized that we have to get rid of these things. So, because it's more than just the flag. And a lot of the Caucasian people, the white people, they don't realize, some of them really don't. They're ignorant. They don't realize how serious this shit is. Never, some of them do. And this is why they do this. But where you was asking me about the lady earlier, and what did you want me to...
Like you talking about, it's time to fight back. Maybe it's time for us to reconsider our stance on these type of situations.
It's not time for us to fight back. It's past time. And I was telling her that I've taught my sons and my brothers and my family that, you know, we are willing. And a lot of people think that there are not people out here like this. We're gonna die for the movement, for the revolution. We're gonna die for it and in it some way or another, whether it be mass incarceration. Like I was just saying, I have a friend that's in prison for selling marijuana. He had too much marijuana. He has life. He was the father of the year. His daughter will never see him again. He has life, and no, the black president hasn't released him. He has life. So we're gonna die in some way, because there's an undeclared war. What I was telling the lady, an undeclared war means, for a lot of people don't say it, when you say I declare war, you let the other country know that I'm coming, so prepare yourself to fight or die. America, this country, has waged an undeclared war on Africans in America, on the indigenous people, the American Indians. It's a war. And it was a war on when they brought Russians in, and it's just everybody that white America, Dutch, and the Europeans brought in. It was war. But for us, after 400 or 500 years, okay, no one has to tell you that it's war. If bodies are in the street, today they're in the street. And yesterday they were hanging from trees, being drugged from cars, being drugged from horses. There is a war. So are you going to fight for your lives, or are you going to die? We have to fight. There's a war on us educationally, scholastically, the miseducation of the Negro. The miseducation of the Negro. And what we have to do, it's not even about learning anymore. It's about unlearning. We've got to unlearn everything that we've been taught. Not just for Africans in America, white folk too. Because you've been taught some bullshit. We've got to unlearn all of this crap. It's not all about education. It's about the miseducation and reprogramming our minds. When you see a person that comes up, a black woman who says they have children, and no, I don't want my child to die. Well, listen here, woman. Your child is going to die. Now, is your child going to die standing up erect as a man, or will he die on his knees, begging as a cow? Which one do you choose?
Thank you so much for that. And I also want to ask you, what has been, you're a community organizer, you got what they say street cred, but like, what has been with the lackluster response from Memphis, like with this Darius Stewart case? Because this was our Mike Brown or Freddie Gray moment. And you know, what's your take on that with the youth and just leadership?
As far as my street cred is concerned, I need everybody within the sound of my voice to realize this. I'm not a Crip blood or anything, but I do, you know, come to the hood and something happens and I can stand up and say stop. The bullets usually start flowing. But I learned that street cred don't mean a damn thing. Not much of anything. Because it's just street cred. Because the streets don't make no laws. The streets not running this country. See, we got to get some court creds. You understand what I'm saying? We got to get some educational cred. See, all this old hood stuff, see, we got to let that go. Because it's not going to get us anywhere but the hood. We got to get a little bit farther than our communities. And we got to change our communities back into communities instead of hoods. So I admit I do have a little street cred, but it's no biggie. And as far as the lackluster response, is that what you're asking me about this? I think that comes with the miseducation of the Negro and the fact that so many people, we're easily bought. We're easily bought, and I was shocked and surprised to see pastors here because we all know that they're on government welfare, most of them. And butter and cheese is all it takes for a few of us and a few tax breaks. And we don't show up and show out like we used to. See, Martin and all them, they were pastors and things like that, but they wasn't getting government assistance in that way. So when the government started assisting them, paying them, they shut their mouths. So what I think is the main thing with so many of us is the Africans here in America, Moors, Hebrews, Israelites, whatever you want to call yourselves, or whoever we are, black people in America. So many of us think we've overcome. One of my favorite people in the world, Harriet Tubman, she said, some people say she said hundreds, some people say she said thousands. I'd rather believe thousands. I freed thousands of slaves, she said. Many, many. And I could have freed thousands or more if only they knew they were slaves. See, the Negroes here, they don't know they slaves. So when they get their little house on the hill, see, I got one too, with a little picket fence, white picket fence. That's the dream I bought into. A dream deferred because, you know, it's still a nightmare. See, when we get our house on the hill, a little white picket fence and a few dollars here, a few dollars there, we forget that we's is some slaves. Because we're slaves to the system of white supremacy. Because that's what runs this country. And if the system of white supremacy is against us, we're slaves. So the reason why I know not enough people were here tonight is because they kicked back in their nice, cozy little houses on the hill with white picket. Now they're turning them to wrought iron because I'm about to change mine over too. Fences. And it makes them think that they're free. See, America is beautiful in the way that they do this, psychologically. See, they make you think that this is a democracy, you know, but it's really not. You can't leave this place without their permission. They have to grant you your passport. You can't come back in it without their permission. So we just thought we was free. But ours is still a slave here in America. And the sooner that most of us understand that, more of us understand that, the better off we'll all become.
Thank you so much, sister. What's your name?
My name is Mary. They call me Sunshine. Everybody says the name is beautiful because it's the name of Jesus' mother. Oh my goodness. I honor my grandmother so much, but I'm so spiritual and so non-religious. But I'll roll with it until I just can't digest it anymore.
Well, thank you for being such a breath of, or like a sunshine on this cloudy, draining, weary day. It's good to see somebody like you, coming through with your light through the clouds of doubt and miseducation. And I want to say, in the words of Great Gilton, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing.
Thank you.
Thank you.